this is a bit of an unexpected pleasure. I was just headed out for a walk with the small devices, as one does on an evening, to promenade around the neighbourhood, and I just popped back in to throw one of my flashlights back in the car, and the radio came on as you want to do when you just enter the vehicle. And so I thought, oh, that's all right. I was very good. Anyway, I just glanced over at the Pivi Pro screen, and of course it said battery is low. Please recharge. Oh, it doesn't say that, but vehicle will switch off in 3 minutes or something like that. And it had come to my attention that I had intended to charge the Land Rover before I went to Alaska, but Arctic Circle, to be honest. And for lots of different reasons, never did. Too much of a rush, I think. If you've seen some of the videos, you'll see that I was away. So I thought, well, while I'm sat here, I was just about to edit some more video footage from something else I'd done earlier on today. I thought what I'd do is I'd just give you, or I'd just go and plug it in and I'd record the video. Well, while I'm here, plugging the thing in, I thought, well, wouldn't it be a good idea if I showed you all how to plug it in and charge your battery, and that's sort of what I'm doing. Now, there's a number of different ways about going about this. Some of the folks back in Blighty have got one of them battery chargers that you plug into the trailer, sort of hitch electrics, and it sort of back charges the car. And other people have got sort of smart chargers and this, that and the other. But my vehicle had been on a boat and then on a train and all the way into Land Rover and hadn't had a charge. And of course I picked it up the day it arrived. If you remember, there was a bit of an ooh-ah in that. Perhaps I haven't told you about that. Maybe I should. Anyway, there's a bit of an ooh-ah about picking the car up, and I bought it and it had just had its PDI. Which is a sort of a pre-inspection thing they do to make sure that it's all right. And so the reality is that it's never had the battery charged since it left England. Which is remarkable, really, because it must have been however long on a boat and then however long on a train to get from one side of Canada to the next. And I've run it a bit, but I haven't really run it I've run it lots, haven't I? But the thing with batteries, this is turning into a far longer start than I thought, but the thing with batteries is that they're a funny thing. They don't actually, by running the car, you don't actually charge it up. If the batteries come into a depleted state, when the car eventually starts to run, it'll only ever top it back up to a certain level, you see. It's sort of not like a battery memory, but it's a bit funny. And the story is that your battery, if you run into a depleted state, it'll always be depleted. It won't, just running the vehicle, using the alternator on the vehicle to charge it up, won't ever bring it back to full. What you've got to do is you've got to use a battery charger to do that. And the lads back in England, I've got a pal called Ian, and he regularly sends me like little videos of his charging rate. And what happens is, of course, you use the car, but when you start the car in short runs, you never really put back into the battery what you've taken from it, and the battery starts to deplete. And I've done nothing really but use it for short runs for the last 2 months or something since we come back from the Dempster. So the battery's really not in very good place, and it weren't fully charged when I picked the car up. So the story is I should have done this a long while ago and didn't, because life and all that kind of stuff. So what I've done here is I've plugged it in. So I'm going to turn the camera around now. I'm going to show you can see bonnet's up here. Look. I'm going to turn the camera around and then we'll have a chat. Right, here we are under bonnet. Look. Now what I've done is I've got I don't know why they do this in garages in Canada. You only have one power point. Well, there it is, and then there's one over there where my bench is, and I've run more power myself from the fuse box, because they've only got 2 plug sockets in the whole of the garage. How silly is that? I put a board up as well. I don't know why I'm telling you this. This has got nothing to do with charging a car, but can you see I put a board up here with lights and plug sockets and things, and I've run some extra power here. Where is it coming through? I can't tell you. Look, I run some power up into the whole garage from inside, and I've got to run another one because I've got to run some 240 volt stuff for a welder that I'm going to have on. Any road, that's one story, but here we are, we're at another now. So what I've done is I've bought one of these Let me see if I can get you down here. Come on, gimbal, sort yourself out. Here we are. This is a Noco Genius 5, can you see? And currently, it's a bit steady. I don't want to yank on these wires in case I pull something out, but here. So currently, the little red light's flashing. And the little red light is telling me that the battery is less than 25% charged, and if it's flashing slowly, and then if we get up to the next one, it's 50% charged and 75% charged, and then if the green one comes on, it's just sort of ticking over, if you see what I mean. But the reason that I wanted to do this video is for anybody that, you know, is in the same sort of boat as me and wants to look after the battery. The lower charge the battery is, obviously, the less the car's going to run. But these are very technologically advanced cars, as you're all aware, and so the computer inside knows when the battery's low, and it won't ever let the car, I can't say that, can I? But it shouldn't ever let the car get to a stage where there's not enough power for it to start the engine, if that makes sense. So what it does is it runs things and then it switches it off. But over time, that's going to get lower and lower and lower, and then it'll be sort of a critical sort of affair. So it is in the instruction book, in the iGuide and in the manual, it says battery must be removed before charging to be charged. And there's two reasons for this. One, what they're worried about is people connecting old school battery chargers and frying the battery and all the electrics inside, and the resultant warranty claims that's going to come out of that. And the other thing, of course, is they actually want you to take it to dealership so they can tell you that you want a new, I don't know, flux capacitor or something that you don't need, that they're going to tell you have to have anyway because you're there. Anyway, so what I wanted to tell you is that this car is installed with an AGM battery, and this means a glass matte battery. And the battery itself, I'm going to struggle here, but the battery is tucked right under the driver's seat. Come on, gimbal. That's it, steady up. Right underneath here, which isn't where you can't see a thing, can you, Furthy? Right underneath here, there's a little box here. Can you see this little chap here? And your battery's actually in that, and you've got to slide the seat forwards and then pull this there's some little clips on the top, and you pull it out, and then you can sort of wrestle getting the battery out. It's a nightmare of a job, but it's not meant to be taken in and out. Until it's gone, if you see what I mean. So that's where the battery is. And so what Land Rover have done is very kindly, they've provided you with a mechanism to jumpstart your car should you be in a situation where you don't have any power. Now, there's a lot of electrics going on here, and I'm trying to make it a little bit neater, but I'm doing a very poor job of it. So what's gone on here is you've got what they call a common ground terminal here, and that's a ground that's put onto the chassis. This piece is obviously part of the structural integrity of the car, and this post is a ground. It's a what we call an earth or a ground, and so your neutral or negative jump lead or battery charger goes on this terminal here, and your positive one goes on here. Because they've got a fancy little box, look, can you see? Now, I spoke to you about this, if you remember, when we did the wiring of the headlights chap thing on the top, which I still haven't put the thing in. I bought it all and I still haven't fitted it. Idiot. Running out of time. Anyway, here you are. This is where the positive charger is. This is very well sealed. It's quite tight to get it off, and you've got watch your fingernails, or else you'll rip one off when you pull it open. But then you put this on here. So normally the rule is this: you apply the ground first, and then you apply the positive, and then you switch on the machine, which is up here. And my machine is just a little Noco Genius 5, but it's a smart charger, and it's got a number of different charging functions here. So this one here is just for a regular battery, and then you've got the glass matte battery, and then you've got a lithium thing and a 6-volt thing, and up here you've got a super repair for broken battery button. I don't know whether it works very well, but there's a mechanism of starting that up any run. And there's lots of these Nocos. They're quite good. I've got a Noco boost pack in the back as well, which I use regularly for run dog's air conditioning unit. That's another story. I should tell you about that in summer, I suppose, when we've got more time. So, the process is to do this, and obviously you've got to have the whole thing plugged in, and then fire it up. But you've got to make sure that you've got the AGM setting on, because the batteries are different entities. The 12-volt sort of lead-acid battery is not the same as an AGM battery, and if you're looking iGuide or if you're looking manual, it says that this vehicle's fitted with an AGM. I'll cut instantly to a screenshot of that fancy screen. I've screenshotted it anyway. So the story is now, I shall leave this going. The car isn't terribly happy because, of course, it thinks one of the bonnet's open, which it is. At any road, if you get a screen sign, if you've got the ignition switched off and the radio comes on for whatever reason, and you have this low warning, low battery sort of sign, it might be a note that your car battery is needing charging, and it might be worth just doing this to charge it up. Now, like I said, Land Rover aren't very keen on you charging the car this way, but for reasons that aren't related to engineering or technicalities, more sort of political stuff and warranty and sort of warranty claims and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's how you do it. That's how you charge. Or boost, for that matter. This is the same story here. If you were stood dead or you wanted to boost somebody else's car, obviously you can't access the battery. So if you've got boost somebody else's car, then this is the process. So I hope that was of some help. I know I'm wearing the same T-shirt as I was when I did a little video on the roof rack and some storage sort of, to call it load restraints. So I hope I've got some help there, and that this video has been a bit useful. And it is a fairly common thing, especially if you're in the Antipodes or your vehicle's been shipped to you sort of by, literally by ship. It's supposed to be shipped to you by ship. So if your vehicle's been shipped to you by ship, then of course it's been stood there for a while and the battery's been deteriorating over that time and losing its charge. And so you need to sort of get on that, if that might help you with some of the other little electrical gremlins that you get from time to time, because these are quite complex electrical cars and they do need a full dose of battery, if you see what I mean, in order to get things going. So there you are. So mine's, according to this, at least at 25%, so it's definitely in need of some charginating, and there you go. Anyway, thanks very much. Do like and subscribe if you like the content of my rambly sort of videos. It's very nice to have you following the channel, and I do enjoy the comments and chatting to you, and it's nice to keep in touch with the family. And we've got a Land Rover family, we've got to look after each other. So anyway, there you are. Thanks very much. Click and subscribe if you're not clicked and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next exciting episode in however long that'll be. Cheerio.